No need to waste time searching the internet for answers. Are you looking to establish your brand voice and increase your revenue? The first step to success is finding clarity. I understand this because I've been exactly where you are. If you always wish you had a mentor to answer most of your questions, this is the podcast for you.
You are listening to the Sincerely Her podcast. This isn't an ordinary podcast. This is a podcast that will help you find clarity, brand, and win.
I am Tam, your host, aka Sincerely Tam. I am so excited. I'm not sure if you guys can hear it in my voice, but I have a lot of friends. I know a lot of people, and all of them at some point in their career journey or just in life were probably where you are today. What motivated you to narrow down your focus and solely pursue a career as a makeup artist?
Thank you for that intro. Really so weird to kind of digest everything that you kind of just repeated back to me, especially because it's just being able to start to share my story is something that is even kind of new to me too. I was forced to kind of streamline my career option because I graduated high school at the peak of the recession in 2008, and my parents were heavily affected. And so my parents sat me down one afternoon, and my dad just was very vulnerable and sincere and was like, "Sweetheart, we aren't going to be able to financially support you."
I have a stellar, and I say stellar in quotation marks, I have a stellar lineup of guests for you, and I cannot wait to share. For our listeners who may not know who you two are inseparable. You have your reality show, Racing Wise, but for me, I feel like I'm connected to you guys because of the NASCAR connection, but I'm also an outsider looking in. What is special about you two is your friendship. You guys met and became BFFs. Actually, you guys are more than BFFs. You're like sisters more so than best friends. As BFFs, how many businesses have you two started together, and what are they?
We have started so many businesses. It's quite funny that you say that because we're always like, okay, should we start another business? So we started off with a BFF blog, and we started this about 3 years ago. So blogging has really transformed in the last 3 years. So when we started it, we just did tons of photo shoots, and we just kind of wrote about our lives, whatever would pop up, because we traveled with NASCAR and we were always just in different cities and eating different places. So that's how it all started.
Exactly.
I hope I'm not being too harsh, but I think you understand what I'm saying.
Fully understand. Fully. And that's true. It's like you can't know, know your worth for sure. It's almost like don't be so thirsty that you're like, oh my God, I'll take $250. Would you not want $2,000 instead of $250? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And you are driving down the market.
I need my commission.
Exactly. I know, 20% or 30 or whatever it is.
And we'll talk about that a little bit later about how commission breaks down in a future podcast. You have worked with everyone from Michelle Obama to Angela Bassett. Of course, many of our listeners may know you from working with Miss Tyra Banks, who you've had the pleasure of being her personal makeup artist for over a decade. The list goes on and on and on. Having touched the face of all these fabulous women, from entertainment to sports, what has been the highlight of your career?
Well, the highlight of my career was winning that Emmy Award. How amazing was that? First of all, I didn't even know you could win an Emmy Award for makeup, to be honest with you. I was happy to be on that job with Tyra and doing Tyra's makeup for the Tyra Banks show. But yeah, honestly, because it's not publicized to the general public. Like a lot of people didn't know people won Emmys for their craft. Now people know because of social media, but back then we didn't have social media outlets for people to really kind of brag about, their achievements, and a makeup artist and hair people and set design and lighting and all that kind of creative arts. Like there was no platform really for people in entertainment and the creative arts to really show off their accomplishments.
I was once like many of you listening to this podcast right now, and I was trying to figure it all out until I realized I had to find clarity first, brand, and win. The ultimate goal of this podcast is to help you find clarity, brand, and win.
Thanks so much for listening to the Sincerely Her podcast.